USHL fans, welcome into week 4 of the USHL. Ezra Gennello along with you. A busy week, 4 games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A similar schedule coming up in week 5. We're so glad that you could join us here, week 4 of the USHL. Ezra Gennello along with you. A jam-packed schedule for today's episode. We'll take a look back at last week. We'll talk about some top plays. We'll take a look at players of the week. And we'll get to be joined by the head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers, Jason Kirshner. He sat down with digital media coordinator Connor Ryan over in Sioux City to talk about the Muskies' 5-1 start to the new season, a player of the week, and a big promotion that's coming up this weekend. What seems to be a recurring theme here on the U Show. We kick things off every week with some of the big things going on off the ice around the USHL. We talked last week about how promotional schedules and community events are what make the USHL so unique and so awesome. Promotion nights that benefit not just the team but also the local community. And couple big ones last week. We had the Taylor Swift night in Sioux City. They pick it back up this coming week with their Pink in the Rink night. The Cedar Rapids Rough Riders do so as well. But for Sioux City, Saturday night, they're wearing specialty jerseys, and the proceeds from those jersey auctions are going to the Unity Point Health St. Luke's Oncology Unit in Sioux City. Cedar Rapids, they're also wearing special jerseys on Saturday for Wipeout Cancer and Pink in the Rink night. Saturday night at the Stable in Cedar Rapids. Their jersey proceeds are going to the Nassif Community Cancer Center. So we love promotions. We love when they benefit the community, and we, tip our hats to Sioux City and the Rough Riders and all the different USHL teams that really benefit their communities through some creative promotional schedules. Always the best when you get to go to a USHL hockey game. You get some awesome, high-quality hockey, but you get to benefit your local community as well. But moving on to the ice, and Sioux City, it's not just the promotions that's causing them headlines with Taylor Swift tickets to the Eras Tour and Pink in the Rink, but how about some guys in the lineup for the Musketeers who are causing some headlines? Tate Pritchard riding a 6-game goal and point streak to start this season. 6 games into the year, he's found the back net in every single game so far. He looks to continue that point streak and goal streak this weekend as the Muskies take to the ice back home at the Tyson Events Center. And then how about Lincoln? 2 guys leading the USHL in points. Daniel Schlane and Jack Picard, the future Minnesota Duluth and Northeastern men's hockey players, 9 points. In fact, let's take a look at the USHL league leaders as a whole. You see Schlane and Picard atop the league, 9 points in the blue and white for Lincoln. Tate Pritchard right there with 8, along with Reed Morich and Caden Hawkins. 4 other players in the USHL tied for that 3rd position with 8 points. Pritchard, he leads the league in goals, mentioned 6 goals in 6 games to start the season. Schlane and Picard representing Lincoln at the top. Morich and Hawkins for the Blackhawks, and then 10 other players with 4 goals. In the assists category, it's Landon Gunderson and Sam Larilla who pace the league. Gunderson with the Musketeers, Sam Larilla, the defenseman for the Fargo Force, Josh Niedermeyer, another defenseman, though he's in the Eastern Conference with the Dubuque Fighting Saints, joined by Colin Frank, and then Grady Deering representing the Blackhawks up there. 8 players tied for that 6th spot with 5 assists so far this season. And then we take a look at the plus-minus, a whole lot of blue and white. Brown, Harrington, Oliver, and Schlane all representing the Lincoln Stars with +7 ratings so far this year. But it's Alexander Rybakov, the Week 1 Defenseman of the Week in the USHL, had a great performance at the 2024 Dick's Sporting Goods Fall Classic, but he continues to lead the league through Week 4 with a +8 rating, the defenseman over in Sioux Falls with the Herd. So the league leaders, that's how they stand through 4 weeks. Let's see how the teams fared in week number 4. Mentioned games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was a full slate of hockey all weekend long. A rematch of the 2024 Clark Cup Championship So the Dubuque Fighting Saints storm Shields Arena and pick up a 7-4 win on Thursday. That was the game to watch that night. On Friday, we were keeping our eyes on the Lumberjacks and Blackhawks, a talented goaltending duel. Saw the Blackhawks pick up a commanding 6-2 win on home ice at Young Arena over the Jacks. The Stampede protected home ice over the Fighting Saints. The Force, a 5-0 shutout over the Rough Riders from Cedar Rapids. And then the Lincoln Stars 4-3 over the Bucks, and the Muskies 7-2 over the NTDP. On Saturday, the Lumberjacks, they picked up their win on the road, finishing up their tour of Iowa with a stop in Des Moines over the Buccaneers 4-3. Cedar Rapids fell to the Stampede, who went 2-0 over the weekend. The Stars 3-0 win over the Blackhawks. They were perfect 2-0 on the weekend. The Steel visited Omaha, 2-0 win for the Lancers. We'll talk more about that game in a moment. The 17s got some revenge on the Musketeers, 5-4, and then 5-2 over in the Battle of Wisconsin, our Saturday night game to watch. The Capitals defending the Bob Suter Legacy 20 Arena Middleton against the Green Bay Gamblers. Then 2 games on Sunday. Waterloo, their 3rd game of the weekend, 6-2. They picked up the win at the Viaero Center in Kearney over the Storm. And then the Lancers, the weekend sweep, their first 2 wins of the season, a 5-1 win on Sunday over top the visiting Chicago Steel. So what did that mean for the USHL standings? As of today, 10-15-24, the Dubuque Fighting Saints, sole possession of first in the East. The Lincoln Stars, sole possession of first in the West. The Saints with 10 points, the Stars with 12. Waterloo in second of the West, followed by Sioux City and Sioux Falls. Fargo in the middle of the pack with Tri-City, Omaha, and Des Moines rounding out the Western Conference. We mentioned the Fighting Saints, the first place team in the Eastern Conference, a position they held for the majority of the 2023-24 campaign. They're back up there here in 24-25. They're followed by the Madison Capitals and Chicago Steel, tied up for second with 8 points. Green Bay and Muskegon tied for fourth with 7 points. Then it's the NTDP, the combined record between the 17s and 18s, with the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders and Youngstown Phantoms rounding out the Eastern Conference. But it's been a good start to the year for a lot of teams in the USHL. We see a tight pack throughout the USHL in terms of points, but some teams, they've had a better start than others. And the Sioux City Musketeers, they started the new campaign with a 5-1 record. Connor Ryan from the Sioux City Musketeers front office sat down with head coach Jason Kirsner to talk about their strong start and a player of the week and the upcoming Pink in the Rink promotion on Saturday night. Let's send things over to Sioux City with Connor Ryan and head coach Jason Kirsner.
On the U Show with the head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers, Jason Kirsner, I'm Connor Ryan. Kers, 5-1 start to the season for the Sioux City Musketeers. A fantastic start for the Muskies. What is the driving factor behind that success so far?
Yeah, it's obviously, as you mentioned, been pretty good. I think the biggest thing for us is just we have a little bit of an older team, a team that's had a lot of USHL experience coming into the year. We've obviously been able to mix in some new players, a couple 08s and 07s who have certainly contributed. But I think especially early in the year, as everybody's trying to get out of training camp and kind of figure out their team and their identity, certainly having as many returning players that we had that went through our process last year has helped contribute to that. So give credit to those guys. I think they came back in a good mindset and hungry to try to pick up from where we left off last year. So it's been a good start. 6 games. We had many to go. It doesn't mean anything. So we got a lot of work to do.
56 more games to go. One of those returning players that you had just talked about, Giacomo Martino, he was named the Forward of the Week this past week in the USHL. But you had just mentioned you have a very veteran team, a lot of returning players. You really see that big jump from year 1 to year 2. Talk about some of those returning guys, like a Martino, a Tate Pritchard. I mean, he's even in his 3rd year, but like a Liam Hupka, those guys that they're coming back, and I'm sure you can see just that growth and confidence now in year 2 in what's a very tough league in the USHL.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And as I said, that's really what we've been leaning on here early. I think that's a reasonable expectation for guys when they come back after having gone through the gauntlet in their first year last year to be able to step into new roles and be able to contribute. So some of those names you mentioned, obviously, first and foremost, our goaltender, Sam Urban, has been a huge component to our early success. And then the names, obviously, we have a forward line in Pritch and Marty and Landon Gunderson, who have all contributed a lot offensively. And sometimes in a league like this, when you know what you're doing, you can grow old gracefully, and I think you're seeing that with those guys. And we're leaning on them, and it's important because we do have some significant young players that we're counting on to contribute. And I think having the opportunity to watch those guys and how they've progressed from season to season and how they go about their daily training environment and their work habits and the level of professionalism they bring, not just to how they prepare on the weekends, but what they do Monday through Thursday, it's significant for all of our guys to see that. So happy for Marty. He's earned it. He was an important contributor to our team last year that had a nice little run, but we're just, like I said, reasonable expectation for those guys to step up and fill new shoes and play a bigger role. And I'm happy that him and some of those other guys you mentioned are knocking out the park for us early.
Aging like fine wine, you could say. Coming up here this weekend for the Sioux City Musketeers, we just had Taylor Swift night, which I know you were really excited for, but we do have our Pink in the Rink game coming up, an annual event. For you on the coaching staff side, and as well for just speaking for the team, what does it mean for you guys to be able to, play in a game like that where it there's the final score, there's 2 points to be at hand, but there is something a little more to be playing for as well.
Absolutely. Supporting causes like Pink in the Rink, it's crucial, not just for awareness, but also for fostering a sense of community. It's a chance, I think, for us to come together, make a positive impact. I think for me, being part of the Muskies during these kind of events, it's incredibly meaningful. It allows us to leverage our platform as community leaders and bring attention to important issues, whether it be cancer or some of the other events that we're involved in, and to support those affected. Obviously, cancer affects all of us, me included. So I'm proud to contribute to something that can make a real difference in people's lives. Obviously, like you said, these are games, these are league games, the points matter. But I think just having the opportunity to do something significant and being a part of something bigger than the game, it's important. It's what makes being part of not just the Sioux City Musketeers, because I think we take a lot of pride into these kind of events, but also this league, right? It's one that I know everybody in the league is doing these kind of events. So again, just all of us as a league being able to use our platform to try to give back to the various causes that we're involved with, it's meaningful. And, it's like I said, it's what makes working here special.
Fantastic. Looking forward to Saturday night, Pink in the Rink for the Sioux City Musketeers. Coach, thanks for your time here today.
Thank you, Connor.
Head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers, Jason Kersner. I'm Connor Ryan.
So Connor Ryan sitting down with head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers, Jason Kersner. Appreciate Connor and Coach Kersner for joining us this week on the U Show. But you heard Coach talk about his big three guys on that top line. And, Pritchard joined by a couple other guys. Pritchard, we mentioned the 6 goals in 6 games, but they've also on that top unit in Sioux City got the USHL Forward of the Week. No, it's not Landon Gunderson, but it's rather one of the best names in the USHL. Giacomo Martino, 2 games, 5 points, plus 4 rating, 2 goals and 3 assists. We talked about how good that trio has been. Gunderson with Pritchard and Martino. And Giacomo Martino, a big week in Sioux City for the Musketeers. Earns himself the Week 4 USHL Forward of the Week honor in his 2 games against the USNTDP under-17 team. You see one of his 2 goals from the weekend there. The Defenseman of the Week also in the Western Conference, also in one of the Sioux cities. That's Sioux Falls, Jenny Shawley, the defenseman with 2 games played, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. He was +2 for the Stampede. Had a strong weekend for the Herd. He'll also be featured in the USHL Top Plays of the Week. A little foreshadowing, but Week 4, Defenseman of the Week in the USHL, Janani Shawley, the second Sioux Falls Stampede to earn the Defenseman of the Week honors this year. Alexander Rybakov taking the honors back in week 1. And then Cam Hendrickson, the goalie of the week for the Omaha Lancers, a 2-0 record, including a shutout on Friday night, helping the Lancers pick up their first win of the new season, a .975 save percentage over the weekend, including that one shutout in the 2-game set against the Chicago Steel at home in Omaha for the Lancers. Cam Hendrickson, your week 4 goalie of the week in the USHL. We're going to take a quick step aside, but when we come back, we'll have our top plays of the week, and we'll take a look at the upcoming Week 5 in the USHL here on the U Show.
Welcome to the United States Hockey League.
Puck comes back out. Levshinov skating down. Nice move and a goal!
Just spectacular.
That's what an all-USHL player does when the lights shine the brightest.
Celebrini, Finley, cuts in.
Welcome back into the U Show. Great partners in Flow Hockey. Every game in the USHL all season long can be found on the official live stream partner of the league, Flow Hockey. And last week, the viewers on Flow were treated to some spectacular goals across the USHL. We take a look at the top 5 plays from Week 4. Coming in at number 5, Tate Pritchard driving the net against the 17s. A nice little pass out in front. Backhand, forehand to the back of the net. Pritchard then extended the lead to the eventual final score, 7-2 in favor of the Musketeers. That was the 5th play in the USHL last season. We stay in the same matchup, though. The next night, it's Michael Burchild. Shake it off. A little Taylor Swift night in Sioux City. Shaking off the contact, drawing a penalty. We don't want the power play, though, says Burchild. Finding a way to lift the puck over the shoulder of the netminder. Play number 4 in the USHL in Week 4. But how about another 4? 4 goals for Nick Sikora. This one, a big one-timer blast on the power play. His 4th goal of the game for the Lancers, who picked up the weekend sweep over the Steel. Play number 2 goes to the Herd, the Sioux Falls Stampede. Jenny Shinali, a nice backhand pass across the ice. Sam Spihar finishing the play in the middle of the slot. The Herd on their way to the win. But play number 1, we love our goalies here on the U Show. A.J. Rayoltz, the starting netminder for the Rough Riders. Cross crease, rebound, save. Your top play in the USHL this week. We love our goalies here on the U Show. We've gotten to talk to a couple of goalies here on the U Show. And while we love our highlight reel goals too, we love to see the goalies shine. The United States Hockey League really is a goalie factory and churns out top-level goaltenders that move on to play in the NCAA, in the AHL, the NHL, and really just that next level. The competitive nature of the USAHL and its fast-paced and high-scoring offenses really put the goalies to work, and they develop like none other. But we're expecting some more high-scoring games this weekend as we take a look at the Week 5 schedule around the USAHL. Every game available on the official live stream partner of the USAHL, Flow Hockey. One game on Thursday. The Fargo Forests welcome the Waterloo Blackhawks to Shields Arena, 6:05 p.m. puck drop in the Central Time Zone for that game. Then on Friday, a full 8-game slate, starting with the Lumberjacks at USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth, Michigan. The Battle of Michigan going on. The Jacks take a trip to visit the USNTDP under-17 team. Though on Friday, we're paying attention to the Lincoln Stars taking on the Youngstown Phantoms at the Covelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio. The Stars, they've got the league's top 2 leading point scorers, and they're looking for a win in the Eastern Conference, the easternmost team in the USHL, in the Youngstown Phantoms. Over on Saturday, 7 games around the league. We got 2 that we're watching. It's the 2 games with the pink in the rink special jerseys. Sioux City welcomes the Green Bay Gamblers, while the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders welcome the Omaha Lancers. A couple of interconference matchups. The Muskies and Rough Riders wearing special jerseys. The Sioux City auction jersey proceeds are going towards Unity Point Health St. Luke's Oncology Unit, Well, in Cedar Rapids, the proceeds will benefit the Nassif Community Cancer Center. And then on Sunday, just one game in the USHL, it's the Chicago Steel back home at the Fox Valley Ice Arena to take on the Des Moines Buccaneers. A full slate of hockey in Week 5 here in the USHL. An exciting slate of hockey here in Week 5 of the USHL. You can catch all the action on the official live stream partner of the USHL, Flow Hockey. And, of course, we appreciate you tuning in this Tuesday night. The U Show every Tuesday at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, breaking down the past week, the next week, special guests, top plays. It's always here Tuesday night, 6 and 5, right here on the USHL YouTube page. Ezra Gennello along with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoy Week 5 in the USHL on Flow Hockey. Enjoy the rest of your week.